welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and retiring early. So if those are topics that you are also interested in, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you along on this journey. Today, I am going to be doing a weekly check-in, but not just a weekly check-in. I'm going to do my weekly check-in for week 2 and 3 of March. I'm a little behind schedule, so I'm going to get caught up today. I'm also going to close out that first paycheck in March and set up my budget for my next paycheck. So you're going to get all of that in the video today. So go ahead and grab some coffee or tea. It's going to be a little while. Okay, quickly first I'm going to just go over all the tools I'm using today. I'm using the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. I am using a notebook from Plum Paper. I'm using these category stickers from my friend Cara Jo Plans. I am using my own stickers here in the notebook. We'll be using the weekly check-in today. These Sharpie markers, which I use to highlight all my categories, they are from Etsy, and no, Amazon. Sorry, I keep saying that in videos. It's Amazon, and they are listed in my Amazon storefront. They are retractable. They don't come with the labels. I added those myself. And then this is also in my Amazon store. It's an erasable pen, and it's by Pilot, and it's called Friction. Okay, let's jump right in. I've actually been working on this budget for the last several hours, and I've decided to do things differently, and I'm going to share that with you today, what I'm doing differently. So I'm not going to quite be following the Budget Mom's method of budget by paycheck, but I think that's okay because she's always saying you've got to do what works for you. So what I've decided to start doing is instead of budgeting by paycheck, I'm going to budget by week. So I started first with the first 2 weeks here, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that off with you guys today. But week 3 is going to be on a spread all by itself, and then week 4 has the spread, and week 5. So and then I'll show you this really quickly. This here is where I track my expenses. I was already tracking them 1 week per page, so I'm just going to continue to do that. It's going to work perfectly with my method of budgeting 1 week at a time as well. Okay, so these here are my budget categories, and I write how much I spent in each category, the total amount I spent this week in each category, and this will come in handy when we move over to the notebook. So right now we're going to go back to the monthly spread, and we're going to put down all the expenses that I had for the last 2 weeks. I'm going to share all of that with you right now. Okay, the first week we're going to look at is March 7th through March 13th. So let's start with bills, and let's see what I had. I only had one bill. Disney Plus for $8. So let's see, and that came out on Friday the 12th. Okay, so moving on to debts, there were no debts paid that week. Moving on to food, we had a purchase at Sam's Club for $95. So we're no longer separating like this is David's groceries, this is my groceries, but instead we just have our total grocery amount, and then we're buying what we need at the stores that we need to get it from. See, we can't get everything from Sam's. But we can get some good deals at Sam's, so we get some things at Sam's and some things at other places. So another store I like to go to is called Fairway, and we spent $31 there. This morning, today is the 20th, and this morning I went to Aldi to pick up a bag of corn chips and some salsa for a meal I was making. It was less than $2, you guys. So this coming week, this week here, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take Logan there and see what other things we can find there instead of shopping at Fairway, because we do spend a good amount at Fairway. We went back to Fairway on the 12th and we spent $55. So I love Fairway because it's a local grocery store. I know where everything is. I know the items I like to get from there. And I know that places like Aldi won't have the same products that they have. So I do love Fairway, but it is very expensive. Okay, so let's see. That's it for food for that week. We did get gas for $37 on Monday. Okay, so we did food, we did gas, time for miscellaneous. Let me see, we didn't spend anything on miscellaneous, that's great. Medical, so let's see, nope, nothing for medical. We make up for it the next week, so just keep watching. Okay, Sam's Club. So we had bought some things for the house from Sam's Club. Besides like cleaning products and paper products, we also included in this is like dog food and coffee. Because everyone in the family drinks coffee, we consider it a house expense. Okay, and then I also pulled out money to do my cash envelope stuffing, which you may have seen. That video came out earlier in the week, this week. I don't remember what day it came out, but I think it came out on the 16th, on Tuesday. Okay, so that was that week. Now let's look at the next week. So we're gonna look at the 14th through the 20th. That's this week, because it's the 20th today, and this was my spring break week. So starting with bills, we had Google Fi, which are our cell phones. This is two cell phones, and for $52. Our deal with them is as long as we use Wi-Fi, it'll always be about $50. And then we have like a certain amount that we can go like use for if it's not Wi-Fi, but if we go over, then they start charging us more money. But we've been able to use Wi-Fi most of the time, so we've been able to keep it at $52. Okay, and then we have our new cable company where we get our internet from, and that was called MetroNet, and they also charge $52, which is great because that's how much we thought it was going to be, but the first couple of months, let's see, it was like more like in the 70s, and I was really disappointed. Oh wait, yeah, MetroNet, let's see, where is it? Oh, I think I just called it internet. Yeah, it was $78 last month, but maybe that's because it was our first month and I don't know why. I have no idea why that happened. Okay, we also had to pay Netflix this week, which was $15. I round up my bills, by the way, so that's why they're all even amounts here. Okay, moving on to debt. We did not pay any debt this week. Moving on to food. So we did our normal Sam's Club shopping and we spent $126. We went a little later in the week than we normally do because David and I were both off for spring break, so we didn't feel rushed to have to do it on Sunday or Saturday or Sunday like we normally do. And then I also purchased groceries, some more groceries at Fairway for $85. So that was it for food. We didn't have any gas this week. Okay, this is not good. So we have a new store that just opened in my town called Home Goods. I had never been to a Home Goods before. So I said to Logan, hey, you want to go check out this store? And I said to him as we were walking in, by the way, that says 87 in case you can't see it. I said to him, we are not buying anything. We are just going to look. And then he was like, hey, don't we need oven mitts? I'm like, you're right, we do need oven mitts. And then he was like, hey, don't we need a laundry basket? Like, you're right, we do need a laundry basket. And then there's a few other things too. So we ended up spending $87. And then I decided so Logan got a new bed this week from Grandma Carol and Papa Bob. Because they're selling their house in Des Moines and they're moving to Michigan. So they had an extra bed that they didn't need to take with them to Michigan. So it went to Logan. It's a nice queen size bed. And they gave us sheets for it, but he needed new pillows and what else? Oh, and a blanket. So I got him new pillows and a blanket, and that was $45 at Target. Okay, moving on to medical. We had a lot of medical expenses this week. First of all, we had a pharmacy visit for $2, or purchase at the pharmacy for $2, not bad. Then one night I had to run to Walmart. Logan was not feeling well and there's some things I needed to pick up like before the morning to help him get through the night. So that ended up costing us $24. That's all like little medical things for Logan. Then we had a another pharmacy visit this week, and that was $19. And then finally, we had a doctor's appointment this week with a co-payment of $25. So lots of medical this week. Our current budget each week for medical is $25. I'm thinking we might need to increase that because our co-payment's $25. So if we have one doctor visit that week, then we don't have any thing left over for prescriptions. Okay, house, there was no house expenses this week, and sinking funds cash envelope, none of that this week as well. Okay, so let's see how this all breaks down when we look at the notebook. I did make a mistake here. I'm gonna need to do the 5 weeks, and I don't think let's see, did I save it? No, I didn't save it. I didn't save the 5th week. So I'll just have to draw it in because we were actually doing 5 weeks this month instead of 4. Which means we did dip into our, oh, you'll see that in just a minute, but we did dip into our extra week cash envelope, so you'll see that in just a minute here. Okay, so let's do the weekly check-in for week 2. Okay, so I'm gonna push this up in a second here, but this section is for budgeted, actual, and different. So that's what those 3 categories are. Okay, so let's start with bills. Last week we ended with $282 in that category. We spent $8 this week. So $282 minus 8. That leaves us with $274 for bills. For debt, we ended with 0. We had 0 expenses, so we're still 0. For food, let's see where we ended. We ended with $5. That's terrible. We spent $181. So, just remind me these are negative numbers. So 5 minus 181. So we are negative 173 in that category. Okay, gas. We budgeted, let's see, gas. Yep, we budgeted 40. We spent 37. So that's a positive difference of $3. Miscellaneous, we had, we were negative 53 when we started the week. And let's see, so we didn't spend anything in miscellaneous for that week. And so we ended with a negative 53. Okay, so medical, we had $18 left. And we didn't spend anything that week. So we still have a positive amount of $18. Okay, house expenses, we had $100 left. We spent $100, so that's a difference of 0. Sinking funds, cash envelope, we had $408 available. We ended up spending $315, so $408 minus $315. That's $93. Okay, I'm going to add all these together and make sure that it did this part correctly, and then we will move on from there. Okay, somewhere my calculations are off by like $3. So we ended with a positive amount, which really surprises me. If we had ended with a negative amount, then I would take some of our income from our new, I would cover that negative amount with income from our new check, but I'm not gonna have to do that. I'm gonna make a note to myself to shop at Aldi's. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's move on to week 3. We are not done because week 3 is part of this paycheck. So, okay, so because week 4 and 5 will be the next paycheck. Okay, So we are going to be negative. So starting with bills, we have $274 available. Debt, we currently have 0 available. Food, we are negative $173. Oh, but you know what? We added 200. Well, anyways, we'll look at that when we get to the budget. Okay, gas, we had $3. Miscellaneous, we are negative 53. Medical, we are positive 18. House, we are at 0. And sinking funds, we still have $93. Okay, so let's see what we actually spent in week 3. Okay, for bills, we ended up spending $119. So we're still positive in bills. 274 minus 119. So we're still positive 155. Debt, we didn't have any. Food, we spent $211. And we actually put $200 in the bank account, which you'll see when we get to the budget, but that's not part of this. Okay, so 173 and 211. So we're currently negative 384 on food. Oof da. We had a bad month food-wise. Very bad month. Okay, gas, we didn't spend anything, so we're still positive $3. Miscellaneous, we spent $132 when we went to Home Goods and Target. So $132 and 53 is negative 185. See, now this is looking more like how I thought, like the position I thought we were in. So medical, we had 18 available, but we ended up needing to spend $70 between all the pharmacy visits and the co-payment. So 70 minus 18. That brings us to negative 52. House, we didn't spend anything, so we're still at 0. Sinking funds, cash envelope, we didn't spend anything, so we still have 93. The reason why we have more money is because we put money in the account for birthday expenses and we ended up not using all of it. Okay, so I'm gonna add all this together and make sure I did the numbers right. Okay, so we are negative 370, which is a total bummer. We're gonna have to take that. Okay, let's head over to the budget and see what needs to happen. Okay, so we're gonna start by closing out week 1 and 2. I already wrote the bills that came out. We had a couple extra medical bills that we weren't planning on. So let's see, first of all, we had a rollover of $2,820. We put $200 in the account to cover the cost of birthday expenses, so that was a total of $3,020. When I add all of my debts and bills together that came out, it came to $1,520. So $3,020 minus $1,520 is 15, right? Oops. Yep, 1,500. So we're coming down here. So when we come down to our envelopes, we have 1,500. This is my variable expenses. We spent $955, so 1,500 minus 955. That equals 454. No, 545, sorry, 545. So we come up here, we put 545 minus our sinking funds total of 230. So 545 minus 230, that's 315. Okay, so when we roll over, we're gonna add that down here. When we roll over to the next week, to week 3, we had 315. Oops, that wasn't our budget though. It's our actual. 315 that we're going to roll over to week 3. giving us an ending balance of 0 because we want to end with 0. So $315 to roll over. So let's go on to week 3. Okay, so week 3 we had a rollover amount of $315. We deposited $200 from our extra week cash envelope to cover the cost of food and gas for that extra week. So together that is $515. Okay, so cable, let's see, just a moment. Let me just double check to see if these things came out. Cable, Google Fi, and Netflix. Cable. We budgeted 78. 52 came out. That was the actual amount. And what date did that come out on? The 15th. Okay, Google Fi. We budgeted 50 and it ended up costing 52. And that came out on the 15th. Netflix, we budgeted 15. 15 came out because we rounded up. And that came out on the 19th. Again, 52 plus 52 plus 156 plus 15 is 275. Okay, that's more like it because we actually spent less on our bills than I thought we were going to. So 275. So let's go back here. So we budgeted 515. We originally thought 314 was going to come out, leaving this balance at 201, but 275 is what actually came out. So 515 minus 275 is 240. Okay, so we budgeted 201. 190 came out, so what would that leave us with? 201 minus 190, that would have left us with $11. And there's no other expenses right now. If we had anything left over, I was going to roll it over, but no other expenses, no sinking funds, no extra debt, no extra savings. Okay, so let's see what we actually spent on these. And then we have more categories, which I did not budget for. Okay, so let's start with food. We ended up spending $211 on food. And gas, we didn't spend anything on gas, so that's a good thing. Okay, categories that I don't have here. So debt, bills, food, gas. So we still need to do miscellaneous, medical, and these two didn't have anything. So miscellaneous, we spent $132. And that was not budgeted. And medical, we spent $70. And that was not budgeted. So we are going to end with a negative amount. Okay, so rollover is going to be a negative amount. So we have negative 173. Okay, let's budget for week 4. I have not done this yet, so we're going to be doing it together here and problem solving together as well. Okay, so the rollover was negative 173. Okay, so this hasn't happened yet. So there's still a possibility to make changes here and make things better if we can. So 3,300 minus 173. Okay, so we have 3,127 to work with. 3,127. Okay, so this is the way I'm going to do this. Even though this is just for week 4, I went ahead and put all the bills for week 4 and 5 because I want to make sure we have enough from this paycheck to cover all those bills. And then when I go over to week 5, I'll just show you now, give you a little heads up. The only thing I have listed are these expenses: food, miscellaneous, medical, and house. These are expenses I know that we're going to have in week 5, but we are not doing cash envelopes in week 5, and I don't have any bills listed, but what we'll do is anything that didn't get paid here, I will then write here. You'll see that next week when we can come back and check in. Okay, so let's take a look at the debt and the bills. So we have, our bills are going to be $1,611. Now this we don't have control over. This is not our variable expenses. These are our fixed expenses and we have to pay them. So I'm just going to double count. I'm just going to check my calculations to make sure it's actually 1611. Okay, yes, it was actually 1611. So 3127 minus 1611, that's 1516. Okay, so coming down here to 1516. Let's look at our variable expenses. These dark numbers, these are what we actually take out in cash for our cash envelopes. We're budgeting $150 for food this week, $40 for gas, $25 for miscellaneous, $25 for medical, and $50 for house, totaling $415. So let's see, 1516 minus 415. That's 1101. So we're left with 1101. Okay, so let's come back up here. We do sinking funds in week 4, and we're gonna have $240 of sinking funds. So we had 1101 minus 240. That's 861. Okay, and we're not putting that towards extra debt. We are going to we're going to roll that over to the next week. So roll over. So roll over 861. So we have 861 available. We're going to roll over 861 for 861, leaving us with 0. Okay, let's move on to week 5. So week 5, our only income is that rollover amount of 861. Okay, and then we're going to come down here to the cash envelopes, or the variable expenses. So we have 150 plus 25 plus 25 plus 50. So we need 250 to cover those. So we had 861 budgeted minus 250, 611. Okay, so we end with 611. Now, our first paycheck in April is not going to be enough money to cover our expenses in April. So let's go back to the first paycheck of March and see how much the difference is. Start with income. I'm trying to remember how much that first income is. It's like 18 something. 1834. Okay. Well, actually, yeah. Okay, so let's look at, so it's 1950 was the budgeted for bills, 1950. Okay, so we already don't have enough money. Variable expenses came to, is that right? $840? Oh no, because there's birthday gifts. So 640. Ooh, is that right? Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, and then cash envelopes was 230. Okay, so we're going to subtract all these. So let's see how much extra money we need this first paycheck. So 986 is what we're going to need. Okay, so we're going to end with 611. Extra debt, extra savings. We need to roll over 986. So 611 minus 986. That's 375. I'm so sad. It's totally my fault, but okay, so total savings 375. So negative 3 75. Oh wait, that goes, sorry. So our total savings is negative 986 for a total leftover of negative 375. So our two options here are to take money from Etsy and YouTube income to cover that, or to spend less in my variable expenses, food, miscellaneous, medical, house. So that's it. We have $415 here to work with and $250 here to work with. Yeah, okay. So not the most fun budget update, but yeah, I don't know, last month wasn't looking so good either. And then at the end, we ended up having extra money to put towards our debt snowball. So you never know. So do come back in the next couple of weeks. We have 2 more weeks to check in, and hopefully we can turn this situation around. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I will see you all again next time. Bye everyone.